I have some beans and some Seminole pumpkin, Seminole squash, and a few different types of corn that I'm going to try and grow. I want to soak these in water for about 8 hours before I plant them, just because it's sand here and it's so hot, and it's not supposed to rain for at least a couple weeks. That'll just help them soak up some water and germinate faster before I stick them in the ground. Hopefully in 8 hours I'll have the garden beds ready. I can plant these out, although it's not really that hard. I'm just going to take a hoe and take a little a row, like a little trench row, and then just drop all the seeds in and then cover it up. No big deal. Doing my furrows for my corn here. I'm doing them a little over 2 feet apart, the rows, just because this is sand and it's kind of, low in moisture and nutrients. So I don't want them to have to compete as much. So I'm spacing them a little further apart. And I'm also doing my corn about 10, 11 inches apart each seed. So they'll be a little further apart, but they seem to do better that way. I'm going to continue doing the rest of this. I'm just scraping off the weeds too with my hoe and just leaving them on the top to decompose and act kind of like as a mulch. Along with soaking the seeds to help them germinate, I'm also going to wet all of the furrows inside really well, and then put the seeds in and then bury them and then wet them again, just because this is pretty much sand and it's so dry, or it gets dry super fast anyway. Just try to wet each one really well. So put the seed in. And go ahead and start putting seeds in now. I think I'm going to do corn all up to here, and then this area here beans, and then all that over there corn. I think I have some squash here, or Seminole pumpkins. I'm going to put them, I think, all along the edge here, and maybe all along the edge here. I'm just going to cover them back up. See how dry the soil is, even though it looked wet. See how dry it still is. That's why I'm wetting all the seeds and all the furrows and stuff beforehand, and I'm going to water it after I'm done burying them all, and it's still really dry. This is kind of a mix of corn. I had some different types of seeds, and I put my purple corn in there, and I'm just going to try to see if I can get some new genetics and see what goes on. It's pretty. It'll be pretty either way, make some good cornmeal. Now I just need to put my beans right here and cover them up and then water everything really well, and then I'll be finished. I just have to keep watering and wait for everything to come up. It'll probably be watering every day because it's so hot. We'll see though. I have my greens all organized and then some piles here. I'm just going to freeze these, so I'm going to blanch them with the kale here, and mustards I'll do for 2 minutes, and the collard greens that are a little thicker I'll do for 3 minutes, and then I'll just fold them up into little bags and put them in the freezer. By pretty fast. I'm going to boil in this pot here, and once this gets to boiling, I have ice. I'm going to pour in this bowl of water, and then they'll just go straight from the boiling water into the ice to cool down, into these bags, and then in the freezer. This is actually pretty easy. It's a lot easier than canning, which is one reason why I do it. But I also like the flavor better. I think it tastes more like fresh greens when you cook them this way. I've tried just freezing them just like this without blanching them, and when they thaw back out, they get all crumbly and the texture is kind of strange. But when you blanch them and freeze them, the texture is just like you cook them, just like from fresh. It's great. All I do is just chop them up and put them in all kinds of things. I have them like this, and I'll just set them on my cutting board, wait till they get a little bit soft but still frozen, and then I just chop them real fine, and then just use them for whatever, usually stir fries and soups and things. That's how I'm gonna store my greens. Just gonna put them in here for 2 minutes, and then an ice bath. And from boiling water, watch out for that steam. Just put it in the ice water here to stop the cooking. We have 16 bags here, plus some that I'm going to have for dinner. I think that's a pretty good harvest. If I went to buy one of these, it'd be about $2 to $3, sometimes $4, depending on the store where I go. I'm gonna put these in the freezer immediately so they freeze up and don't start to decay. And they'll stay nice and fresh like this and ready for me to eat for months and months and months.